Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video. I got a huge video today showcasing all major changes from the MW2 alpha to the retail version we have today. There are some minor changes that I will be showcasing, but I won't be showing all of them, just all the ones that can change the gameplay immensely. I will be showing the alpha version, and then I will try to have retail version footage right after. For most of it, I will have it, but there's some things I won't. If I talk about it but I don't show footage, I will leave it in the description so you can go look at it for yourselves. I don't want to drag this intro on too long since the video is already long enough, but I will have everything timestamped so you can jump to whatever you would like. So yeah, let's get right into it. And I do want to note that this build is dated about 4 months before release. MW2 was obviously released on November 10th, 2009, and this build is dated July 13th, 2009. So yeah, about exactly 4 months. Obviously in the background footage, you guys, you see that the maps do look a little bit different in the preview, and also if you notice that Karachi is actually called Checkpoint, which is actually the actual internal name for it. So if you wanted to like load it up on PC, you would type like map mp_checkpoint if you wanted to load it up through the console. And here in the alpha version, the only difference is that Global Thermonuclear War was a game mode you could actually choose, unlike in the final where you could only do it through mods. And this is the retail version, obviously showing that Global Thermonuclear War you can obviously pick.
My desires, my heart overflows. The only direction that I'll ever need is a deeper connection that's leading me. And I'm lost in your love when you hold me.
And here I'll just be showing all the titles and emblems in the alpha version. I will leave a video to all the normal titles and emblems down in the video description that's in the retail version, because I don't think there's a point in showing them because I feel like most people know what they already look like. And you can obviously tell that the UI is slightly different, still familiar but just slightly different. Here in the alpha version, you can see that all the challenges are basically the same. The kills might be a little bit different, but you can actually see the secret challenges that you can't normally see in the final game.
No words can change the future of us. The waves, they break, but we are enough. The only direction that I'll ever need is a deeper connection that's leading me. And I'm lost in your love when you hold me. Just hold me, 'cause I don't wanna run from your heartbeat, no. 'Cause I'm lost in your love. I can't break the fall, you're taking it all. I'm lost in your love. I'm lost in your love. I'm lost in your love.
And here in like prestige mode and some other things, you can actually see that it has like a COD 4 UI, which is kind of interesting. And throughout this video, you might see rested XP when I spawn in or something at the beginning of the game, but this was obviously cut from the final version. And you can see that the bar below is blue, which means that you have rest XP. And here you can actually see some commands. It looks like rest XP, it has a minimum rest time of 4 hours before it starts activating. You get 0.15 levels per day with a cap of 1.5 levels, it looks like. And now you get arrested the ward scale of 1, which I don't know what that is, and a time scale of 1, which is just normal time. I am kind of sad they cut it from the game. It would have been cool, but apparently this is in like World of Warcraft or something, I believe, which is kind of interesting. And then here on Afghan, you can also see that there is no mattresses to help stop fall damage. Yeah, loading up the rail. You can obviously see that the loading image is very white. There's like no blue filter or anything on it. And then here on Derail, it looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit more bluer than the final version, which you will see in a little bit. Yeah, there's a car there instead of a truck. And here, for some reason, they decided to put the train like slightly crooked, like it kind of fell off the tracks. I'm not too sure why, but they obviously changed this in the final version.
We found love in separate ways. Heartbreak is a wonderful price to pay. We came so far through our weakness.
And on this side of the map, you can see that there is no army trucks here, but in the final version there is. When you try to jump up on the side over there, you can actually slide down. On the final, you can just walk right up it.
We can be together in this moment could last forever. I say that you and I have found a piece of heaven. So my friend, we can be together.
Here on Estate, you can also see that the fencing is a little bit different. There's no tarp on it, and it's a little bit more open, I believe. And here in Favela, instead of having a trash can, they have a tree here for some reason. And the window you will see, you can't climb in or out of it for some reason. And over here, there's for some odd reason a really bright X in 2 different locations. I'm not too sure why. And in the Alpha, instead of having a generator, they have a stack of tires, but it's a lot easier to shoot through, which is assuming why they changed it, but I'm not 100%. And here in the alpha, they actually have this window blocked off with the table in front of it. And here on Highrise, there's actually a lot to take in. For some odd reason, the textures on the wall look very clean. There's like no scuff marks on them. The building right there is super tall, and there's actually a turret up here for some reason.
It's hard to tell you no. I know you've got bad intentions. Oh, it feels so good to have attention. Yeah, no one has to know. No one has to know you're my guilty.
And on the final version up here, there's obviously no turret, but they actually do put teddy bears instead up here, which is kind of interesting.
You're my guilty pleasure. I know I'm not on my best behavior, but I
And also, for some odd reason, you can't climb up here. There's actually a barrier blocking it, so maybe they actually didn't want you coming up here originally, but who knows. I do just want to take a second to note that in the alpha, a lot of the lighting on all the maps is really different compared to the final version. Like, a lot of the dark areas are very dark and a lot of the light areas are very light.
finally reached a point. I'm the dysfunction. Just trying to fill a void. I know you've got bad intentions.
And over here they actually have a unique sign, which I don't really think even appears in the final version at all.
No one has to know. No one has to know you're my guilty pleasure. Keep it on the low. Keep it on the low. You're my guilty pleasure. I'm not on my best behavior, but I stay here anyway.
And here on Invasion, you can see that the lighting is obviously very different, and you can see that the blue building over here has a different texture on it.
I know I'm not on my best behavior, but I stay here anyway. No one has to know. No one has to know you're my guilty pleasure.
And here on this building too, the texture is changed a little bit, and there's no signs on the building to the left over there.
Faded black, shades of white and gray, until you colored my day. I was saying solution.
Here on Karachi, there's actually this little indent in this area over here for some reason, which I'm not too sure why they changed. My only assumption is that probably in like Domination or like Demolition or something, there's probably like a very big spawn trap that could happen over here.
Skies again, the sunlight in your eyes. I wanna feel the way I feel. If I
And over here, they obviously have one of the pieces missing, and this other thing is very blocky, but usually when it's very blocky like that, usually that means that they are usually making a texture for it for the final version.
see the shadow lines, don't let me be colorblind.
And over here in Karachi, for some odd reason in the alpha, they have these windows open. I'm not too sure why. My only assumption is that there was probably a chance you could actually go in here at some point earlier in development, but they got rid of it. Yeah, over on this side also, they changed something up. I'm pretty sure they also got rid of it, something for spawn trapping like Demolition or Domination or something. And here on Quarry, the only change is that this tank is, instead of outside of the map, it's inside of the map, which doesn't really change gameplay up too much, but hey, it still changes it.
Night, hidden behind a horizon, into the moonlight, into the moonlight. We were chosen, hearts are frozen. We were chosen, hearts are frozen.
Over here on Rundown, these walls are actually a lot shorter and they're actually easier to jump on top of also, which is kind of interesting, even on the other side.
In time, in time. Once upon a time, and fate was on the road. We were dreamers, free and fearless. The world beneath us, we take
And then over here on this building on Rundown, they have these unique textures on these windows for some reason. I'm not too sure why they got rid of them. Maybe they were trying to code in to break them when you jump through, but they couldn't code it in time.
starlight, star bright. You are the first star I see tonight. Starlight, star bright. Shine so high, you light up the night. Sun fading, sky gazing. Stars are the jewels of the night. Hidden behind.
And then in the river over here, they got rid of this car, which on the final version you can jump on and actually slide up and get on top of this bridge. And this I just found on complete accident. For some odd reason, the alpha, you could jump through here. I'm not too sure why. Maybe you could get in this building originally. And on Rust, there's literally just this barricade. And over here on Scrapyard, for some odd reason, you could actually jump through the bottom part of this plane. Not too sure why they got rid of it. And for some odd reason, all the truck textures in the alpha version, or if not most of them, are all like a dark grayish color instead of the bright white one.
Gotta work it out somehow. I made too many promises. I won't go back on it, no. Girl, we gotta work it out right now.
And over here on Scrapyard, for some odd reason, they have these like solid poles. I don't know why. I'm just so happy they got rid of them.
The last thing that I say, I make sure I say it the right way. If it's the last thing that I do, I make sure that I get through to you. If it's the last thing that
And on Skidrow, they actually have a pole with a fence over here for some reason. I'm not too sure why. And then also over on this side, they have this entire wall blocked off with sheet metal. And on the little crate over here, they actually have a sandbag. And over here, they actually have a sandbag on this corner next to this dumpster, which I wish they kept because in the final version, the amount of times I get killed on competitive S&D from someone laying prone right here watching for feet, it's insane.
Gotta work it out somehow. I made too many promises. I won't go back on them, no. Girl, we gotta work it out right now. I swear I'll make you love again. I'll make you love again. Yeah. If it's the last thing that I say, I make sure I say it the right way. If it's the last thing that I do, I make sure that I get through to you.
And over here in the final version, which we know all the noob tubers like to camp up here, they actually had sandbags, which I'm happy they removed. Then over here on Subbase, they actually have a forklift in the spawn for some reason. A little bit farther down, they have a truck instead of boxes in the final version. And also all the subs on this map are for some odd reason raised out of the water a little bit more than in the final. And you could also jump out of the map for some reason on this side. I'm not too sure why. And in this building, they have the box floating higher in the air, so if you stand on this railing, you can actually protect yourself from someone on the other side. And on the railing outside, they don't have a railing on the staircase part. And in this building, it's a little bit different. Instead of like having the workshops, they have missiles in the alpha version. This little area is raised up and you can't even jump on it. And you can actually see water. And yeah, some of the other areas are changed in here also.
Who you really are, baby, coming through the light. I wanna know you. I wanna know you. I wanna know you.
And here's a closer look at this little weapon cabinet in the alpha version. It has all the COD 4 weapons with some MW2 weapons thrown in. And the alpha version, for some odd reason, this little area has changed up a little bit, this little staircase. I like how it is in the final version. I'm not a fan of the alpha version. And this little like corner area, you can actually throw stuns in the final version. It can jump through, but not in the alpha version.
Really are, but if you're coming to the light, I wanna know you. I wanna know you.
And here on the alpha version, you can actually jump inside of these turbines, which is kind of interesting. And the ones on the ground too, you can jump inside of, but you actually stick out of them. And in the alpha version, you can actually blow this tanker up and it changes the model. You can't even jump on top of it anymore.
This could be something, but that ain't enough. 'Cause when the leaves start falling down, I need to see you big around. You and me.
And over here on Underpass in this area, it's a little bit more wide open, but they also have a sheet metal fence here.
You see, when we collide, no one walks away easy. It hurts so bad, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. No, 'cause after the storm, you'll see the sun, you'll see the sun.
And in this little area over here, they changed up a little bit more. Instead of having the forklift in this back corner, they put it over here.
The clock keeps ticking as the time flies by. So many times I've forgiven you in my mind.
And on Underpass, there's like a little hole in this building normally in the final version, but in the alpha version there's no hole, which I assume they added it because there is a S&D and demolition bomb inside of there.
Keep thinking I'm in too deep.
And you actually can't even climb up here. There's no boxes to climb up on, but there is a ladder on the other side.
That I won't survive, but my body won't let me drown till my mind is falling down.
And like this drainage area, you can't actually climb up this dumpster, and there's not even a barrel on top of it. And here's a developer map, MP_ firing range, where they just test weapons and whatnot.
Can we both freeze this moment in time? And I see us wrapped in the moonlight. Put your hands inside of mine. And I used to see you better, love you more than anybody. Never saw beauty in effort, only saw the flaws inside only saw the flaws inside me. Next to my body, can we both freeze this moment in time? And I see us wrapped in the moonlight. Put your hands inside of mine. And I used to see you better, love you more than anybody. Never saw beauty in effort, only saw the flaws inside me. Only saw the flaws inside me.
And actually, in the alpha version, you can actually play Shipment from COD 4, which is kind of interesting. Although I'm pretty sure they just use it for testing purposes, which I will show why later. And now we're going to start getting into game modes, all the cut game modes. So you obviously have Arena, which is basically like S&D, but when there's one person last alive, a flag actually spawns and you can either capture it or you have to kill the last person. This game mode is actually playable in the retail version, or it used to be at least, until they started patching it out, which I will leave gameplay to the footage down in the description. And here on the final version, you can actually load up Arena on Xbox, but you actually can't even play it because they patched it out. But I'm pretty sure you can play it on PC still. Actually, I know you can. Then on the PlayStation 3 version, I'm not actually sure if you can still play it. And actually, this is how all the game modes are, except Global Thermonuclear War. You can't actually spawn in, but when you fly around the map, most of the game modes will actually spawn in, except like Domination, I'm pretty sure. And I just want to show also, I tried starting it up on Rust also for all these game modes, but I won't always show it, but yeah, it just doesn't load either. And actually, for the alpha version, Global Thermonuclear War, the bomb actually spawns in by getting dropped in by an AC-130 like a care package. And yeah, actually, it's different from the final version. If you back off of it and go back on it, it actually resets the timer for some reason. And yeah, which is pretty interesting to note too, is that they were obviously still working on it from the alpha version, which was 4 months before release. The bomb obviously spawns in like a normal bomb or something, and you can see in the top left that it has gaining ground, and your points actually stay. And also in the final version, it takes a lot longer to capture it too, which I assume is because your points actually stay, unlike the alpha version. Here's another cut game mode, one flag CTF, which is obviously where one team has to go grab the flag while one defends, unlike normal CTF where both teams have to go grab the other person's flag and also defend at the same time.
We have a deal.
And just like Arena, in the final version you can't actually play it, you can't spawn in or anything, although I'm pretty sure you used to be able to play it. Look in the description and I will leave a link if there is footage of it. And here's another cut game mode, VIP. Now one thing to note is that you can actually only play this game on the Shipment version on the alpha. No matter if I try any other map, it does not load for some reason, which I will show later, which is very interesting. For some odd reason, you can't even play this in private match, it'll kick you out. As you see, it says game mode is for 2 or more players, and it'll just kick you right back to the menu. And the person that is elected VIP actually is given a riot shield and a deagle. And they also go into last stand, which I'm pretty sure you can actually pick up the VIP when they go in last stand.
To take me away, there's nothing more to do. To take me away, in fact.
And there's actually an extraction point, so when you get to it, you actually have a 45-second countdown timer.
There's nothing you can do to take me away. There's nothing more to do to take me away. In fact, the love is gone, no more words.
And here's the VIP. I believe they have a little bit more health maybe, I'm not 100% on that, and they do go in the last stand as you see. And this is just one of them. If you load it up on any map, you'll just get stuck in a waiting challenge loop. And just like one flag in arena, you can't actually play it in the final version. In fact, I'm pretty sure you couldn't even play it before they even patched out the other games. Here's actually Diehard, which is a cut game mode option that you could choose for any team-based game modes. And when your teammates go down, you could actually revive them. And right here I'm just going to be showing all of the options, which there's actually unlimited and timed for Diehard, which just means one, you stay in the last stand forever, and the other one is timed before you die.
Feel me in the
And you can actually still play it in the final version, which is kind of surprising. You can actually just activate it with the console command scr_diehard1.
Lost all of your dreams, the night is harder.
And here I'm just going to show the different bomb spots. There's only 3 different bomb spot changes that I found. Nothing else on any other game modes. I only looked at S&D and Domination, to be honest. And here's a weird fact I don't know if you knew or not when I was researching this. Actually, Demolition and S&D share the same exact bomb spots. Here, there's actually 2 cut camos, which is gold camo, and I believe the other one is blue cheetah. But even if you go in the game, you can't actually spawn in with them, which is kind of sad. And here I just want to show you with commands you can actually give yourself gold deagle on the second theory, which I'm not too sure if you can do in the final version, but it is pretty interesting that you could still actually put it on your class. And while we're on the topic of the Deagle, they actually have the same recoil as the COD 4 version, the alpha, but in the final version they actually gave it a lot more recoil. And the MW2 sound is actually the campaign sound. Sorry, the audio's off. And here's a little funny thing on the silenced Barrett. You could actually see that the silencer like goes through it for some reason. And actually for the mechanics for the spaz, for some odd reason you could actually use the Monty neck in the alpha version, kind of like BO2 trick shotting if any of you are into that. And also with the intervention stuff, while wine and stuff, some of the mechanics are slightly different. And with FMJ, they made the spark sound a little bit more defined in the alpha version, which I'm pretty sure they got rid of because they made way too many particles and it would lag your game.
What I'm saying is no lie, no lie, no lie, no lie. Being
And here I'm just be showing all the preset classes that was made for us. It is clearly a lot different from the final version.
with you is no medicine.
And I found this on accident with the MG4. If you try and knife, it for some odd reason kicks you out to the menu. You probably have already noticed, but when you take damage in the alpha version, your screen actually gets really desaturated. In the bottom right, you will see that the icons are a little bit different for the equipment because I'm going to show all of them. And also like the little UI when you try and throw them is a little bit different as well. Also, you can't even equipment cancel in the alpha version, which I'm so happy that they added in the final version because it's so nice to have equipment canceling. And with the tack insert, it has the same icon as the glow stick in the final version, which I will show. And also, when you place the tack, it is a little bit faster too. Which maybe they got rid of the fast tack placement because of boosting, but who knows. And here also, I wanted to show that there's a right hand throwing knife. There's the left hand throwing knife first, and then I will show the right hand throwing knife. And in the bottom right, the icon actually looks like the knife icon from the COD 4 when you knife someone in the kill feed. And here's the glow stick in the alpha, which is the same as the final version. It has the same icon as well in the bottom right. And later on, when I show the menu version and create a class, the tactical insertion actually looks like a glow stick. So I actually think the glow stick was supposed to be a tack insert. And here's the glow stick again. This is the final version. And it's the same icon as the tack insert and glow stick in the alpha. And actually in the alpha version, when you zoom in with the sniper scope, it's kind of like transparent. You can actually see like the people. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it was for testing purposes. And I'm going to be showing the UI, which you've probably already seen in the top right. When you kill someone, it'll be red, or if it's your teammate, it'll be green. And if you get killed by someone, it'll actually be on the left side, and it'll get rid of your mini-map instead of at the bottom. Yeah, I'm just going to show this again. When you call in a streak or something in the top right, it'll show up in green also. And here's all the different kill streaks also. You can see that the icons are a little bit different, and especially the counter UAV, for some odd reason it is very messed up. I just want to show in the alpha that the UAV and counter UAV are super easy to destroy. And in the alpha, the care package actually drops the care package flat instead of it tumbling, which I do kind of like the randomness in the final version. And also, there is no pickup time. When you hold the X to grab it, it just gives you it right away. And actually in the alpha version, the sentry gun doesn't show up as like a sentry on the mini-map, it shows up as like another player icon. And also any of like the helicopters or anything in the mini-map, it actually, the propellers don't even rotate in the top left, and it's also a little bit different, like that helicopter texture. And for some odd reason, the Favela, it takes forever like to show up who called it in when you call it in. And with the EMP, instead of it being instant when you call it in, it actually takes like a few seconds. And in the alpha, the emergency airdrop, it's a little bit lower to the ground too, and also the care packages are a little bit more like the final version where they're random when they drop. And here in the final version, you can actually see that the airdrop's a lot higher. And also, I'll place down the sentry gun in a second. You can see that it'll have a sentry gun icon in the mini-map. And also, when I call in like a helicopter or something, the propellers actually rotate. Also, I'll throw down a care package to show how it tumbles also.
So I'ma light it up just like a cigarette smoke till it's in my head, take it all away. Yeah, I'ma light it up just like a cigarette smoke till it's in my head, take the pain away.
I'm not too sure if any of the sounds even sound different from the final version. I'll try and leave a video in the description, but also I just want to note that the Predator missile is called the Hellfire in the alpha. Also, I'm just going to show all the categories back to back from alpha to retail. I just want to show how the order is a little bit out of order from the final version, and the icons are also a little bit different.
I'm not far behind. I know that I can change. Remembering all of those nights beneath the window frame. Don't know why we keep going round and round in the same place. Can't decide to live my life on the ground or in outer space.
And here's the equipment. Also look at the tech insert and how it looks like a glow stick.
Ground or in outer space.
And I do just want to note also that the categories are a little bit different for the perks, and the perks do look different from the pro versions in the final because they're not a star, and for some odd reason some of them have different colors.
I know that I can change. Remembering all of those nights beneath the window frame. Don't know why we keep going round and round in the same place. Can't decide to live my life on the ground or in outer space.
And in the alpha there's a cut death streak called Dead Man's Hand, which is in MW3, but it's a cut game mode in MW2, but you can't play it in the alpha version. Same with another game mode called DEFCON.
In outer space.
And holographic sight is just called EOTech in the alpha version, which isn't really a big change at all. And before this video ends, I do just want to take a second to note that this basically feels like COD 4 if they didn't patch everything out. As you can see in the background footage, you can like jump on basically anything just like it's COD 4. It is very nice. I did wish they left it in, but I understand why they had to take it out.
Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it.
And yeah guys, that's basically all I want to show. There's other cut stuff like the cut game mode, DEFCON, and Dead Man's Hand that I can't do in the alpha version. There's also like secondary camos you can put on your stuff in the alpha version, but it's also possible in the final version. And let me know in the comments too guys if you do want to see a COD 4 alpha. There's 4 different alphas that are available for COD 4, all completely different from the retail version, so I'd rather just upload each of the videos on their own because it would be way too much to showcase all the differences between the alpha and the final version. But also, if you stuck around to the end, please like the video, share it if you want, because it is very interesting seeing all the differences in just 4 months time from the final version. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one guys. Have a good one.